Good morning, students. We'll continue with our chapter 3, part 3. So, as discussed prior, we had completed with quality cost. What is quality cost? So, the cost required to maintain the quality of the product is called as the quality cost. So, whatever the excellent business value is, to maintain that business value with no exception, that is, with no errors, is called as the cost maintenance of that quality. And for that, test managers should test in a way that business value is maximized. So for making the business more and more successful, what we have to do is we have to give them a best quality and should test those qualities in many different ways to give them a proper handed over product. So too much testing would unnecessary delay. So it's not required that unnecessary testing should be done. Wherever required, we have to do that testing, and for which, if we do delay, time will be required more. If time is required more, the cost invested in that will also be more. So for that reasons, unnecessary testing should also not be done. So there were four types of quality cost. The first one was prevention cost. So before any occurrence, we could maintain some things are called as prevention cost. So it's much better to prevent defects rather than after the product is done and finding and removing those defects. What we can do is, before the product is handed over to the customer, before that, to minimize the defects, if we do something, that can be termed as prevention, and that cost required for that prevention is the prevention cost. So that is the, for example, we can say manufacturing process, workers training, then we have quality engineering, then statistical process, all the examples of prevention cost. Second one is the appraisal cost. Appraisal cost is also known as inspection cost. Inspection means checking. Are those costs that are incurred to identify defective products before they are shipped to the customer. So before shipping to the customer, if any problems are there, if they are occurred, they are termed as appraisal, or we can say inspection. So all costs associated with the activity that are performed during manufacturing process to ensure required quality, to give them a proper quality what they have been assured with. For this, whatever cost is been required is been called as the appraisal cost. Next is internal failure cost. Internal failure cost are those costs that are incurred to remove defects before the product is shipping them to the customer. Before the product is shipped to the customer, before that, whatever cost is been required to remove the defect is called the internal failure cost. And second one is external failure cost, is if defective products have been shipped to the customer. Once the product is being handed over to the customer and the defects are there in the customer side also, then that external failure cost arises, because external failure cost include warranties, replacements, lost sales because of bad reputation, payment for damages arising from the use of defective products. The shipment of defective products can dissatisfy customers, damage goodwill, and reduce the sales and profits. So obviously, once it has gone to the customer, if customer has some defects, it will obviously claim for warranty, it will ask you for replacement. If that takes a lot of time, it will somewhere lose your sales service also, because they will refer it to other people that yes, the product was defective, do not buy it from them. Then the next is the damage which has been there in the defective product needs to be solved also, and for that the cost which is required is the external failure cost. And whereas only external failure cost comes with dissatisfied customer, so customer is also not satisfied, it damages your goodwill, so that what you have maintained till now gets damaged, that is, people are not happy with the product, and reduce sales and profit. So even if it reduce your sales, that is, you're selling of the products, as well as the profit which you have incurred gets somewhere included in the warranties and replacements only, so there is no proper profit for the product. So that is called as external failure cost. Next is the quality cost measurement. So how do we do the quality cost measuring? Measuring the cost of testing is an important step towards justifying any software testing initiative. So measuring the cost required for proper quality testing should be done, and it's a very major task for completing the software testing initiative. So all software testing expenditures, so while software is being tested, the expenditures, the money which is being expended or is being given to that particular, should be justified by comparing the benefits occurred with the cost. So it should be compared with the cost, that yes, it is giving us the benefit or not for what software we have given the money. Then the benefits could be in terms of quality measurement and failure prevention or earlier detection. So it can be that cost could be, or the benefit could be, what it can be: a quality measurement, it could be a measuring the quality of the or the value. Failure prevention, if any failure is occurring, that prevention can be done in that things. And earlier detection, because of that failure prevention, what we are doing, early detection of those values can be done, so that further it would not create any problem. Careful analysis usually reveals that actual software testing cost usually lies between 15 to 25% of the total project cost. So careful analysis, a proper analyzation of your product, can give you a total testing cost, a profit of somewhere 15 to 25% of the total project cost. So if it requires 100 rupees as a profit, so 100 rupees for the total project, I'm giving an example, if it is 100 rupees, so out of those 100 rupees, 25 rupees, 15 to 25 rupees, in between that range, will be a profit or a cost which is being given to the software testing quality cost. Then determining the software testing cost is crucial first step of to planning any important initiative and justifying the investment. So it's a very important step related to money, and that is the reason initiative should be taken to justify the investment wherever we are investing money, in whichever phase. An estimate of the amount being spent to test and measure quality as well as cost of rework or corrections is fundamental. So documentation of those amounts which are being incurred in the steps of quality measurement, as well as the cost of rework, that is prevention work, and correction, that is detection work, should be fundamental. It should be justified properly and given it to the finance departments. Most organizations spend too much money, too much time worrying about how to calculate these costs in detail. So there are many questions related to different organizations. So how can we measure these quality costs, and for which estimate conservatively so that actual cost is larger figure than the one we are working with. So estimations will make a proper decisions as they have suggested. Estimations means we are giving a variable input, that yes, suppose 100 rupees is my investment, I will say it is somewhere around 120, so that what happens, while the process is going on, the actual cost is a large figure than the one we are working with. So the thing which we have working on has somewhere around investment of 100 rupees, but as we said 120, so somewhere when you estimate all the things and come around, it will directly come on 100, so that the estimation becomes proper. There is no need to inflate them and run the risk of having some challenge or argument. So it's not necessary you have a debate on those cost. You keep on asking how much money is spent, how much money is spent. Certain processes, if followed properly, analyzation is done properly, estimations are put forth properly, there is no need to risk a factor. The total cost of software testing is in most organizations is sufficiently large to catch the attention of almost any manager. So manager can look forward for these things of the cost investment, and sufficient enough money is being provided so that they could get the product properly done, as well as that product could satisfy the customer needs also. So when we say measuring the cost of testing, how can we measure the cost of testing? So the cost of software testing includes direct measurement cost plus indirect failure and correction cost. So it's direct measurement cost, that is what we are applying, and in return indirect cost of testing is always there, because if failure and correction occurs, detection occurs, so what can be the return? First one is reviews and rewriting the program. Because we are writing the reviews, there are some problems which are coming from the other side, that is rewrite, we have to write those reviews again. Program testing, program can be recovered because there is some error in the code itself. System testing, corrective actions cost. So corrective actions cost means when you are throughout the system you are checking, if there is any problem in the system itself, hardware itself, then it becomes a corrective action cost. Acceptance testing is rekeying data. Rekeying means again and again following the process. Test planning and design, testing always has failures, and design as well with the GUI, so it has indirect failures. Computer time is analysis meeting. Analysis means computer time, when everybody is working they have to work in hand, so computer time is also important. Test resources, debugging every time, whatever resources we have, keep on checking those resources and access accordingly. Cost of terminals and staff, etc. So retesting, cost of terminals means how much modules are there, how on each module how much we are working, all such things are considered in this. So what is the conclusion which we get for measuring the cost of testing? There is no hard and fast rule for prescribing how much software testing cost should be. So we cannot, it's not somewhere compulsory, but it's mandatory. But we cannot say it's mandatory, we can say somewhere it is important to check whether how much cost we are investing and how much we are getting in return. So it's not a hard and fast rule, it's not that compulsory, but we should know how much cost has been incurred, as long as the investment in software testing shows a positive return. Till the time it is showing you a positive return, that is it is giving you a profit, you can be relied on that. But till that time we could not say that it's compulsory. When failure costs have been reduced so that they are no longer significant, they might be we might say we are spending too much on the software testing. So failure cost is reduced and still it is taking a longer time to complete, then we say that it's taking a lot of money for software testing. The justification for money spent on direct testing is the reduction of money spent on indirect testing. So as I said, the justification what we want for direct cost can be somewhere if we do not invest in indirect cost, so that the direct cost does not get a drawback or does not fulfill the needs that is being told here. So there is one last topic that is called as utilizing quality cost for decision making. So why do we require quality cost for decision making? The cost of providing the system, the money saved or created by using a system. So all those things are related with utilizing it for decision making. So similarly, in engineering, has been a long tradition of accessing available technology. For example, the use of reinforced concrete in a building. So there are many things what we reutilize or reuse for further processes. Similarly, in computer-based information systems, a number of techniques have been used in advance of building a system in order to determine whether the system will be worthwhile. So making a proper decision that yes, prior whatever was there, using that things and making a new built up can be one thing using a computer based information system as well. So money provides the ready-made metric of measuring value. So money it's a metric, that is it's a quantity which will give you an direct value of cost itself. This kind of investigation is called investment appraisal or cost benefit analysis. So monetary related values can be termed as investment appraisal or cost benefit analysis, And for that, with each of these criteria we can associate with cost, though for it some it has less easy, that is cost to buy equipment, principally the hardware. So the cost required for buying the hardware, cost to develop the software, when you are developing the whole software it's a large process, so the cost required for that, cost of training, cost of lost work during switchover, cost to maintain the system, cost to repair the equipments, cost of lost work in the event of failure, cost to upgrade. All these things are done using are done as a decision making for utilizing the quality cost. This is the last topic. So with this we have ended up with our whole syllabus of software testing and quality assurance, and this was probably the yesterday's lecture, as there was some network connectivity issues, so I have conducted this lecture today. And for today also I have one assignment which you have to complete today by evening, which I will be providing in the form of attendance, and for this particular lecture also I will be providing a separate attendance. Thank you.